Alright, today is an exciting day. We're going to finish the frame for our bike. So up to this point we have this rear triangle, which is a very complex series of solids that we created with these little brackets on the ends. Those are the last thing that we did. So what we want to do now is clean up our drawing. I'm going to have to go back a step here. There we go. So we have a little tiny piece right here sticking through our solid, and that's not any good. So we have to trim, or with a solid it's called slice, this little piece off. So before we can do that, we need to have a surface that we can use as a slicing point. So we need to explode this bracket here. So we're going to type in EXP for explode. Select this object, press enter. Now these should be surfaces. So we're going to use this surface to slice this solid object. That's a solid. Alright, so we want to do slice. You could just type it in, or it's found in a solid tab. Slice. Choose this solid object. Press enter. Now you need to specify from the menu down below that you want to use a surface for the slicing plane. So we're going to choose surface and then click on this surface. It has already sliced our object, and it's asking us which select sliced object to keep. So I'm just going to click on this larger part that I want to keep, and the smaller portion just disappears. Alright, so our drawing is pretty much ready. One thing that we need to do is mirror these parts of the rear triangle on the other side. So to do that, if you're in the wrong UCS, it's not going to work. So when you think about mirroring an object, you need to be facing flat on the object and be able to mirror it on the other side. So if I were to use this plane, the only way I could mirror these two triangles would be somewhere over here, which is not what I want. I want to mirror them. And there's a couple of different views that I could use. I could use this view. Then I could say mirror along this line. That would mean it would go from over here and mirror over here. Or I could view it from like the front and say I want to mirror along this line, and then it would mirror from over here to over here. So it just depends on which view you want to use to mirror your objects. The thing you want to remember is that you have to be facing the right direction. So if you have a view in mind, there's an easy way to align your UCS. So let's say I want to use this view here. Now on the view cube, this is the front view, the current view. This would be the top view. And right now my UCS is aligned to the world UCS, meaning this is the true top. So if I wanted to align my UCS to the front, there's an easy way to do that. Right now, the menu here, the drop menu, is set to world. If I want to align it to the front, I could just choose from this list front. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. So now my top is actually what used to be the front view. So I'm viewing from the front. So this is my top. If I need to rotate it so that makes you feel better. So viewing from the top in the front view, this is a good plane. I could mirror these objects on this side over here. from here to over here. So now I'm ready to mirror. So I'm going to use mirror, which is found in the modify group, but you have to expand it to see the actual button. So I'm going to click on that, select the objects that I want to mirror. I want to mirror both of these parts of the rear triangle. Press enter. Now it says specify first point of mirror line. I need to find something that's exactly in the middle here. So I could use this center point, or any point that is a center. I think there's probably a point here. It would also be in the center of this quadrant. There's probably a lot of midpoints that I could choose somewhere around here. If I zoomed in some more, there's a midpoint. So any of those things would do. It just needs to be in the center of the drawing. So I'm going to click here and then make sure that my polar tracking is on. You could also use Ortho Mode, which would restrict your cursor. This one will give you the green dotted line when it's lined up correctly. So polar 180 degrees. I'm just going to click over here for my second point, and it's asking me if I want to erase the source objects. I don't. I want to keep both. So I'm going to click no. So now I have all of the solids for my bike frame. And the last step I want to do is surf sculpt this all into one solid. So for that, I want to make sure that I'm on the right tab. I'm going to use just the 3D frame. And, well, let's see. I'm debating whether we should copy this first. Yeah, let's go ahead and copy it first. I'm going to go back to the World UCS. And if something goes wrong, I want to retain this version of my frame with all these little parts on it. So I'm going to copy, select all these objects, press enter, choose any point on here. It doesn't really matter. You're just grabbing it from a random spot. And I'm going to just choose, let's see which of these planes looks best. So I'm going to use this polar tracking to move it away, and I'm going to specify a distance. So right now it's roughly 800 away. I'm going to do 1,000, which would be an even number. Alright, now I'm done copying. I'm going to escape out of that copy command. So now I have a copy over here just in case something goes wrong and my computer crashes and I can't go back. It's just a lot of work that I don't want to lose. So now I'm ready to surf sculpt all these solids into one solid. I'm going to select everything and then type surf sculpt. Give it a minute to do its job. So the order is not important. You can either type in surf sculpt and then enter the command first and then choose your objects, or you could do the reverse like I just did. Select all of your objects and then type in surf sculpt. So now I have one 3D solid for my entire bike frame.